All right, welcome to Tables, Ladders, and Conversations video version where this is not for the audio feed. This is on our YouTube page. So, welcome, YouTube land. I'm Deremy Dove, and I'm joined by my tag team partner, the legend himself, Mr. Tim Lewis. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? You know what I'm saying? Welcome to a special video version, special presentation. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all used to hearing our voice and everything. Jeremy, it's a different look for us. Like I said, 2026, we doing big things. So how you feel about the whole move to video and stuff with YouTube and everything?
Hey, we'll see. Hopefully it goes well. If it doesn't, hey, don't blame me. But we're here to try. We want to get out here into YouTube because there's things that we can do that that is different than what our podcast feed is. So, for live reactions to wrestling news, to any wrestling PLEs or something that just happened, this will be the place where you can find it for tables, ladders, and conversations. We still have the podcast feed where we do our wrestling countdowns and our retrospectives, but this will be for kind of our reactions to what's going on present day in wrestling and things like that. And as we grow, we can expand that too. But yeah, I think this is good to start here, Tim, because it's 2026, so it's a new year. But if you're a wrestling fan, you know what the new year, you know what January means is Rumble time.
Yeah.
And this is a big Royal Rumble, my friend.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. First Royal Rumble taking place outside North America in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh to be exact, which will also be host to WrestleMania 43 next year,
Hmm.
2027. So it's a big deal, man. Dare I say, Jeremy, you think this might be the most important Rumble just because of the pressure and what's at stake and everything, being in a whole different country and everything
Probably the
like that?
most consequential.
Yeah,
Like it's the most that's on the line. I always look to his heart important. A lot of times we'll go like that first one because that gets if it's successful, it gets the tradition started. But I mean, there's, Rumble, usually the stakes are like this is what's setting up for Mania. So you want to kick off WrestleMania season right, which for wrestling, that's pressure. But this is different because there's a lot of people, and we're not a political show here, but whether it's the political aspect of it, it's going to a totally different continent, different country with different cultures and beliefs. And when you're there, you have to respect those beliefs. So how the presentation will look, and we've had events there, but they were special, and we knew that going in. But this is if you're a wrestling fan, this is one of the crown jewel events, and we'll see how they do it over there. And I think a lot of viewers, not just in North America, but across the world, will be looking because they want to see the Royal Rumble that they know and love. And if it looks funky, looks different, they're going to be upset. So I think this is a very consequential and important Rumble.
yeah, absolutely, man. And the thing that I worry about the most because of the cultural differences over there is the women, and we know, now there's a women's Royal Rumble match now, and of course, the women when they go over there, they have to wear those, bodysuits. They got to cover up everything. They can't show anything. Nothing below the neck or anything. So I, I'm I'm worried about the ladies wrestling for like an hour in that 30 women rumble match and stuff. Sometimes Saudi Arabia can get a little hot over there. I know it's wintertime here in the US. I don't know what it's like, temperature wise over in the Middle East and stuff. So I don't know what it's gonna be like. And so I'm kind of worried about the ladies over there wrestling those suits. How you feel about that?
It's interesting because, like I said, I respect everyone has their own cultures, their beliefs, and we all should respect everybody's cultural belief. It's just different because I still, even when I've watched previous events over there, it always kind of, even though I know it, I still have to be like, oh yeah, because I'm just used to seeing the women wrestlers how they look when you watch them every week on Raw or SmackDown or whatever, like that case. So it's always like a reminder. It's like, oh, even though I know it, I'm like, oh yeah, because I still catch myself going, why is she wearing that? And I'm like, duh. But like, it's just I always got to remember that. But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be in an outdoor stadium over there in Riyadh.
Yeah.
I haven't looked. That's interesting. What the temperature will be around the start time, for the event on Saturday. But I still have faith and confidence that it could be a nuisance, but I don't think it'll deter from the quality of the Rumble match.
Mm. Yeah, and I also believe they they built a stadium from scratch too, which is crazy. They built that in like 4 weeks. So I'm a little concerned about the stability and how the stadium's going to hold. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what the other stadium was because they, before and why they needed. I don't know if you know why they felt they needed to build the new stadium because they've been there before. And I don't know if something happened or they're just trying to get more people, so they want it bigger.
Could be the case. Could be trying to fit more people in. Maybe for customization or something like that. I don't know, but we'll see. Hopefully everything goes off without a hitch and stuff like that. So,
I'm hoping as well, man. So, for this show, this is our prediction show. We'll have later this weekend, our reaction show. Once the Rumble event happens, we'll give our reactions, talk about if one of us was right, who was wrong, any surprises, all those things. But for this one, it'll be our prediction show. And I think we're going to start, we got to start with the Rumble matches first. And I think we're gentlemen here, Tim. So, ladies first. So, we're going to start with the Women's Royal Rumble. And I want to ask before we ask who you think will win, I want to know who do you feel should win? Who should be the person? Because there's always differences, right? We as wrestling minds and fans can be like, well, they're going to put so and so over. But that may not be who we think that's who they should be going with. So who do you, Tim Lewis, think in the Women's Royal Rumble should be the winner?
you know, uh, each Rumble, I think each Rumble from like the last 5 years or so, it gets harder and harder to kind of predict who's going to go over it, which I can't tell if that's a good thing or a bad thing, sometimes because I like being surprised from time to time, and of course, if the booking's right and the right person goes over, it's always good to be surprised. But I don't know, man. It's hard to call. At least for the women's side, it's hard to call right now, especially when there's a lot of people who are still injured, that's still out, and you don't know if they're going to be coming back for the Rumble. You don't know if they're going to get cleared in time. Um, if I had to go with who should go over, I'm going to say Liv Morgan. If I'm being honest,
And is that different than who you think will go over?
yeah, and and I'm not mad, if she does go over or not, but I'm gonna say Liv Morgan just because she's been the runner up, for like the last 2 or 3 Rumbles or so, and she's put in the work. And look at 2024, she had a phenomenal year. Women's world champion, that rivalry with Rhea, taking over the Judgment Day. You know what I'm saying? So she's been doing big things. Like she was injured for most of last year, so that halted her momentum for the most part from last year. But 2026 is a new year, fresh start, and what better way to make an impact and get back on top than winning the Rumble, going to WrestleMania, and possibly regaining the women's world title. You know what I'm saying? So I think that'll be a good look for her, just adds on to her resume, her legacy, and stuff like that. Because this thing, like, it's a far cry from where she was like 6 years ago, 7 years ago when she was in
Yeah.
the Riot Squad, where she was like looked at as like the little sister of the group or the cannon fodder who always took the pin. And now look at her. She's women's world champion, multi-time tag champion, all that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I enjoy Stephanie McMahon's podcast. I watch it, and she has really good long form interviews with people, and she does a good job of getting like the ladies on there. And she had Liv on not too long ago, a week or two ago, and that was a really good conversation. But even Liv's wrestling journey, but then her life journey is really inspiring to see where she's come and to have that dogged approach. And she's someone who you don't question she loves the business and was a true fan, has true passion for it. So I'm a huge, me, maybe the listeners or the viewers don't, but I'm a big Liv Morgan fan. So I think it's her time.
me too. I'm a big Liv Morgan fan too.
Yeah, I think it's her time and stuff like that. So I would not be happy. I mean, I would not be unhappy if she won. I would want to see how it's done. 'Cause
Yeah.
to me, that's always the big thing. That's why I don't mind knowing or being like they're probably going this way, but it's how you execute it. Because if you can make it, it's interesting. It's a great match. I'm okay with like, yeah, I figured they were going to put so and so over, and they did, but I got to see it executed. So live is who I think is going to win, but that's not who I think should win. I got a different answer for that.
Okay.
So,
I have a slightly different answer of mine too on who I think will win.
who do you
Also,
think will win?
well, I said I think Liv Morgan should win, and I think she's earned it at this point. But who do I think will win? And based on what I've read from reports and stuff, I'm gonna go with Tiffy Time. I think she'll make her epic return because she's been off TV for months now, since November, since that November Saturday Night's Main Event when she lost the title to Jade Cargill. We haven't seen her; she's been radio silent, and the Royal Rumble, it's prime time, for epic returns and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like she'll probably make a surprise return, and whichever number she picks, whether she comes in midway or in the later half of the Rumble, I think she'll make a surprise return and come out on top. And
Mm.
maybe
Mhm.
possibly revisit that feud with Jade, because if you look at it, since Jay's been champion, she hasn't really had a whole lot of competition, and she hasn't really defended the title that much. And not to put any fault on Jade Cargo, that's not really on her, but it's just that one, injuries, two, lack of faces, because Jay's a heel now, so there's not any really a whole lot of credible baby faces for the face other than Charlotte and Alexa, but they're in a tag team,
Mhm.
and you know I would say Charlotte would be cool, but you don't want to put Charlotte back in that spot because we just started liking Charlotte again.
Right,
you,
right,
you, you
right.
don't you don't want to ruin a good thing. So I'm just like, and Alexa Bliss, I'm like, that's cool. She's been a former world champion, but I feel like before she gets back to that spot, I feel like they need to do something with like her character, which we talked about on the show before. Cancel those two out. But yeah, I think Tiffany Stratton, I think that's probably the way they're going to go, and I think that's who will ultimately win. The women's Royal Rumble.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
See,
yeah.
I think they're gonna go with Liv.
Mm,
I think this is Liv's time to get that. I don't think Tiffy needs the moment,
okay.
and I think Tiffy can do it. And the key is like the elimination chamber, because there's certain people you're like, oh yeah, they're going to put them over, but then that elimination chamber factor comes in because there's some people they're like, you get swerved, you think you're getting swerved, you're like, oh, they didn't win, but then it's like elimination
Yeah.
chamber, they win, and it's like, okay,
Yeah, the Chambers always the backup, you know what I'm saying, just in
yes,
case. That's like
yeah,
it's like the Rumble is like, the playoffs, and then the Elimination Chamber, that's the wild card round, right?
right, 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 right,
and
right.
then
Good
and,
point.
and Mania is a Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying?
And Super Bowl, yeah, we got
Yeah.
Rumbles, wild card, um, elimination chambers, like that divisional or like championship weekend,
Yes,
and
yes.
then we get to the Super Bowl with WrestleMania.
Hmm.
So I like that comparison.
Yeah.
I so what I okay, so I think Liv's going to win. I'm I'm going to give you who I think should win. Then I'm going to ask you. I'm going to throw you a question after that. Once we talk about it, who I think should win it's a little bit of a reach, but I don't think so, and I think it'd be great. I think Jordan Gray should win
Ooh. Okay.
because I think she's not some like rookie who hasn't. She's a green to rest. She's been in the wrestling out business for a while. People know her. She has a name, a following, even like before being in WWE and NXT. She had a following. This makes it grow, obviously, because this is the biggest wrestling platform in the world. But she has a look. She has a following. She already has stuff with Jade back and forth. You have time with the Elimination Chamber to alter things if you want to. But I think this will be a great pop for her. It'll be a great look for the company to give it to someone who is like a quote unquote, I don't say a fan favorite, like a cult following she has, right? I think that'd be good. And then that can push Jordan Gray. And I think, hey, guess what? Let's see if Jordan Grace has it. She's not like a green rookie. 'Cause there's a difference for someone who's like, they've been in the business for a year or two and then got pushed. She's been around for a while. I think people would really like to see that, and I think she has the versatility to give you a great match against either champion. So I don't think you're stuck where you're like, you have to have her wrestle so and so. If you want to pivot and switch it up due to whatever reason, she's versatile enough where you can, where it's like, God forbid, if you're like Jordan Grace versus Jade, and God forbid, Jade got hurt or something happened, you're not like, oh. shoot, what am I going to do with Jordan Gray? You can pick her with a lot of different people, make it work. That's who I think should win. What do you think about that?
No, I'm not mad at that at all. I was just worried that maybe it might be too soon because she just got called up like 2 weeks ago. So I don't know, but I'm not mad that, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, before she got called up, we were literally just talking about, Jordan getting called up, moving to SmackDown, working with Jade, and then lo and behold, like 2 days after we were talking about it, we see her pop up on SmackDown. She has the face with Jade. She's getting into it with Chelsea Green, so she fits well on SmackDown. I think SmackDown could be a good home for her. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking
Well,
forward to
I
it.
also say who else needs it right now? If I look at the established people, like we talked about, you mentioned Charlotte and Alexa, they're in a tag team. They're established. They don't need that.
As
And
far
like
as
you said,
the Rumble,
yes, I think they're fine with
yeah,
the fans, and they're fine with you can still find mania storylines for them if you want to. Um, I think Liv Morgan doesn't need it. It'd be helpful. It'd be a great career accomplishment. The fans would love that. But I think I hate to say it. I look at like whether it's Roxanne Perez or Raquel. I don't think they're not championship headliners right now.
yeah, not
I don't
right now,
think that right not right now, but I
not
think
right
Jordan
now.
Grace, I think she is. I
Yeah,
think she could be there right now.
yeah.
And
I
I
mean,
think
yeah,
why not do it? Why wait around if the time is now, as John Cena would say. There's nobody else. Even like Lash Legend. I don't know if I would put it I like Lash. I don't know if I put it on her yet.
yeah, not yet.
Becky Lynch don't need this. Ira doesn't need this, and I don't think she's ready there either. Billy don't need it. I think Jordan Grace, man.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, like it's hard to kind of like determine like who's going to win. Like every year, it gets harder and harder to kind of predict these and who's going to win these. So yeah, Jordan Grace, and like I said, I think Tiffany Stratton is a strong candidate too. If she comes back, we'll see what
She
happens.
doesn't need it.
She doesn't, but I wouldn't be surprised or mad if she did. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, who else other than Tiffany or Jordan are worthy candidates to go up against Jade? At WrestleMania.
Well, here's something I read earlier today. Read a little bit last night. I
Okay,
want to see what you think about it because you, being a former employee, you have some inside stuff.
here we go.
But I just want to know there's a certain someone we haven't seen for a long time. Someone who loves to throw out that term, the EST. And I'm wondering, we don't have any confirmation. We don't know what the hell happened. If Bianca Belair, if you hear that I'm on my own, you hear that music come out, does that throw all predictions out the window if Bianca
Man,
Belair enters the
man,
Rumble?
man, look, don't threaten me with a good time, man, because I love me some EST.
Me too. Me too.
And look, it's been way too. We haven't seen her. It's hard to believe we haven't seen her since.
Last WrestleMania, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, her last official TV appearance was like the SmackDown after Mania, but yeah, like her last in-ring appearance at WrestleMania 41 in Vegas. It's hard to believe it's really been that long. Like it's already January. It's been like almost a year now.
Mm-hmm.
I know she's, dealing with that broken finger, and I know sometimes broken fingers they're hard to kind of recover from sometimes. And I think she said she even had to like re-break her finger just to kind of get it back in place. And I think they said she might have to go into surgery and stuff. So I don't know. So I don't know what the timeline is on that, but that would be huge. Like the pop would be crazy, if she came out in Saudi, at the Rumble and stuff. And she's won the Rumble before, but well, I mean, hey, Charlotte, she won the Rumble for a second time last year. I mean, and we've had plenty of male wrestlers win multiple Rumbles too. Like you saw Cody Rhodes recently go back to back. Stone Cold Steve Austin's won three. So I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to Bianca coming in and winning another Rumble. So
I'll tell you what, I would love to see her because she's arguably my favorite wrestler of any male or female right now. Is Bianca Belair. I love seeing her. I love seeing her in the ring. She's just the charisma oozes. She's up there. If she's not my one, she's tied for one or something like that. Would it be bad though if I said I would love to see her? I'd be hyped. I would still want to see either Liv or Jordan Grace. Someone I want to see some. I want something different.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to have new blood.
Right.
Get that opportunity. but I also wouldn't be opposed to Bianca too. But I do feel you on that. Like it's cool for to have her come back and get that moment and get back in the swing of things. But you also know in the back of their minds, and I'm talking about creative, you know Jade versus Bianca, that's been the plan since Jade debuted. So
What that was Royal Rumble that 2 years ago.
2 years ago, 2024.
Yeah,
Now Bianca getting injured, that kind of like got in the way of plans. I don't know how she's gonna fit into things, going into Mania if she does come back
quick,
at the
quick,
Rumble.
quick side note here.
Yeah.
If Bianca doesn't get injured or seriously injured, do you think we have Bianca versus Jade at like SummerSlam? Like, where do you think that would have happened at, or would it still have been for Mania?
That is interesting because you gotta remember Naomi was also taken off as a heel during that time, and her and Jade were going back and forth, which culminated at Evolution, and then we saw Naomi cash in Money in the Bank. And before the pregnancy, she was really like on a rise, like she was ascending. And Jade, she went off, did her thing. Now Naomi, she was on Raw doing her thing, and Bianca, as we know now, is still on SmackDown. Jade's on SmackDown, so I think eventually they would have crossed paths and they would have came to a head. I don't know how we would have got there, but you could tell there was some tension. Like there was some tension building as far as like how we would have got there and what would have set it off. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like we would have got there eventually. Maybe not at SummerSlam because I feel like they were probably saving it for maybe like Mania or something like that. But I feel like if Bianca wasn't injured, we would have started seeing like the build to it at least. They would at least start building up to it.
Okay,
At the
okay.
very least.
All right, so that's the wild card, and hopefully she's healthy. But I would love it if we're on Saturday after the event and we're talking about the EST is back, baby. I would love to be able to say that to you.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed. But okay, so for the women's Royal Rumble, Tim Lewis, who he thinks will win, he said Tiffany Stratton, but who he thinks should win, who he would want to win, he says Liv Morgan. Who I think will win is Liv Morgan. Who I think should win is Miss Jordan Grace. So we'll see who's right, who's wrong. I'm hoping I'm right. I would love it if Jordan Grace wins this thing.
That would be huge.
She's at least got to have a great. She got to be in the final four.
That that would be huge, and you gotta think like I can't remember too many women having like a Brock Lesnar like rookie year outside of like Ronda Rousey. Like you remember when Ronda came in, she kind of just dominated a little
And
bit.
that was different.
Yeah, I mean, well, I get Ronda. She was like sort of an outsider, so
Well,
I guess
she has a celebrity factor.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like we can't really counter, but
I think Bianca Belair is the one to me.
yeah, yeah, like
Having a great rookie year. Like, I think Bianca in 2020 had like a amazing rookie year.
and then culminating with her and Sasha Banks main event in WrestleMania the following year.
Right, from Royal Rumble 2020 to all throughout, she's killing it in the Thunderdome. She picked up Otis and was going back and forth, beating Bailey. She was emerging. Like, I believe she had the best rookie year I've seen in a long time,
Yep,
male
and
or female.
yeah, yeah, I can't argue with that. So I'd say Bianca, she's definitely up there. But Jordan Grace, she has a chance to match that and maybe even surpass that. You know,
Absolutely, yes,
yeah, like
yes.
she has all the tools, the build and all that, the wrestling skills, all that. You know what I'm saying? She looks like the total package. So they definitely need to do
And
right
you
by
know
her.
what she has, and I'll say this real quick for everyone watching, then we're going to get to the men's predictions. She has a look that I'm not saying like you got to be able to talk and sell, but almost that match with Jade sells itself. Just the look of those two women and how built they are. I think you got to sell it a little bit, but you don't have to sell it a lot, man. Like some stare downs, some interruptions, some run-ins on SmackDown or on Raw. That's all you need,
And that's what
and
they've been
people are
doing.
going to be hyped.
They've been doing
Yes,
they've been doing that already, and they haven't had any like physical contact yet, just like stare downs, a few like words back and forth, but they haven't touched each other, not in a physical way or nothing like that. So, which is great, which is what you want in like a long term build going to Mania. If Jordan does win the Rumble, like that's just going to add on to it.
look at this. Now they would have some verbal, but Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. A lot of times they weren't touching each other. It was just a psychological warfare. That was enough. I think you got that
Yeah,
if you have Jordan Grace win.
right.
So that's just me. But what do I know? I'm just a dude with a show with Tim Lewis here, so who
And
knows?
you already got Jade trying to like little sister because you know Jade she has that height advantage over her, but Jordan she's still like pretty stacked and pretty built, but it's that like little sister, big sister type of vibe, you know, with Jade towering over her. So that plays into it too.
Yeah, it does. I mean, even though I love Jade, but I mean, I don't. She ain't as strong as Jordan Grace now. I don't think so. I mean, she's strong. I don't think there ain't too many women in this backstage who I think are as strong as Jordan Grace. I don't. I think she might even give Bianca a little run. Bianca might be.
I'd love to see that matchup too,
That'd be great too. But
man.
okay, man. See, you get me excited, Tim Lewis. You get me ready. But all right, we got to get on to the fellas here. So now the men's Royal Rumble match, and I know your guy, your hero, Brock Lesnar. He's going to be in it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I
Uh,
ain't say all that. Whoa,
your buddy
chill,
Brock
chill, chill.
Lesnar.
Nah, I ain't say all that.
He's in it. Well, and then because he's your hero. Well, my fault. He's your brother. Your hero is Cody Rhodes. You know,
Well, Cody's my guy, yeah, and he beat
Cody's
Brock.
your hero.
He
Brock
beat
is your buddy. He's your bro. But
no, no.
he's not on Cody. I apologize to the listeners. He's not on Cody's level for Tim Lewis. That's his. That's
Yeah, Cody's my guy. For those, if you haven't been listening to the show, like Cody Rhodes, my guy. You know what I'm saying? Deremy, he thinks otherwise. You know, we'll give him the crossover eventually. We'll get him to come over to the dark
I
side.
respect Cody Rhodes. I do. I respect him as a man. I
Hmm.
respect the work he's put in. I just don't think he's the number one guy, but I respect him. I love the dude. I love his podcast. I love how he presents himself. So don't let Tim Lewis fool you and think that I don't have nothing but the utmost respect for Cody Rhodes. I just see main event status a little bit different. And I hold him to a higher standard because he's the champ. So I'm going to hold you to the same standards I hold other champions. And are you living up to that when you are the champion?
I think he's been doing an excellent job. And to our listeners and viewers, me and Jeremy had a similar conversation about Drew McIntyre when he was a face. And Jeremy, I remember you weren't really too high on Drew either. And then boom, he flipped the switch, turned heel, and look where he's at now. Now you're kind of singing his praises a little bit. So
Now, whoa, whoa, whoa. So then there's a couple things here before you try to be slick here like a politician. I'm gonna call you out. You're not a politician on me. I always say it's always fluid. So is where what are you doing now? Because potential is just a word. I don't care about that. What are you doing? True, I always said it was a tough break because of COVID, so we didn't get a chance to fully see him shine. I don't know if he would have nailed it anyway if they say there was no COVID. I don't know if he was ready, but I don't hold that against him because he didn't get a chance. It was unprecedented times with nobody in the audience. Now he became healed in the past couple years from like 20, I'll say late 23, but definitely from 24 till his time as champion, he was building as a heel. But now it's a different thing. He's got a belt now. This will be his first title defense in front of a crowd because in 2020, no crowd. So the jury's still out on Drew as a champion, as a heel. Drew's comeback, his rally as a heel was awesome. But that's different than because now, guess what? You got the belt on you, man. What you gonna do? So which he might kill it, but it's still early in the game for me to say that.
yeah,
So no, no, no. I'm fair on it now. I hold people to the same standards. So I
well,
want YouTube world to know that Jeremy Dove is fair.
well, we'll talk a lot more about Drew later on in the show to come. But
Oh,
this
we
one,
will.
yeah,
Oh,
this
we
one,
will.
I just
You
want
the
to
one
get
who win here. No, no, no. You open that door. I'm gonna come on through before we get to the rumble. Don't start no stuff. Won't be no stuff. Tim Lewis. Remember that now.
like my colleague says, like if you're scared, get a dog. And Jeremy, last time I checked, you ain't got a dog, right?
Well, I do, but not in the room with me. Not in the room with me. So I ain't got no dog right now, technically in here.
Hmm.
So, but it'll be interesting. Cody's in it. Brock's in it. Braun Breaker is in it.
The tribal chief, acknowledge him.
Acknowledge him. He's in it. Roman Reigns. So same questions to you, Tim Lewis. Who do you think will win it, and who do you think should win it?
Again, you know, these rumbles between the men and women, they get harder and harder to kind of predict. Whereas in previous years, like you go back to 2002, like everybody knew Triple H was winning the Rumble that year because he's come back from the quad injury, and He left as a heel, came back as a face. Because we were missing him. We were missing him, right? So build that sympathy. So it was tailor made for Triple H to win. Same thing, um, 2003. Brock Lesnar winning because he had just got turned on by Paul Heyman and stuff like that. Go back to 2006, Rey Mysterio, his best friend Eddie Guerrero, who unfortunately passed away. He dedicated that Rumble win to Eddie, came at number two. At the time, had the longest accumulated time in a single Rumble match and stuff like that. The smallest man to win the Rumble, too, at that. So that was huge. It seems like there was always like a theme of like a story being built on who you knew was going to win the Rumble. And in the most recent years, we haven't really had. It's been like kind of unpredictable, which I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Like it could be either creative is just really good at, swaying us a little bit, or creative just doesn't know who they think is going to win. They don't know what they're doing. So it could go either way. I know there's a lot of controversy last year with Jey Uso going over winning the Rumble. Like some people, they were for it, or should I say they were yeeting. Some people, no yeet. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, man, as far as I think who should win, so I'm gonna start there. Who should win? Man, this is tough. I'm gonna go with Jacob Fatu.
For who should win.
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't see that coming.
yeah.
Jacob Fatu, explain yourself. Tim
Well,
Lewis?
here's the thing, because Jacob, he's been red hot since the moment he stepped foot in WWE, right?
Mhm.
Like red hot out the gate. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like a big solid guy. He's doing these flips, these acrobatics and stuff. He can talk. He has the aura. It's like he has everything you want. You know, um, I know recently he kind of took some time off because he had some real life, dental surgery going. He had going on, and also when he came back, like we see him at that last Saturday night's main event. Like he came out shirtless. Like he looked like he was in great shape. Like the best shape he's ever been in his entire career. I was like, yo, I knew he looked like a major player before, but he really looks like a star. Like he oozes the aura. Like
He
right,
got in shape.
yeah, like it makes a difference. Like same thing what it did for Roman Reigns when he took off that vest and he got in better shape and stuff like that. Like same thing could be said about Jacob. Like he really looks like a WrestleMania main eventer. Like, yo, this is the guy right here. This is someone you want to push, you want to get behind. This is someone I could see being the world champion at WrestleMania and stuff. So, and how big of a comeback story would that be? Jacob taking that time off, he comes back, wins the Rumble. He's still over too, so I know that pop is going to be crazy regardless. So I think Jacob Fatu, I think he needs this for sure, just to get that momentum back, just to get back in the swing of things. And I think they could really build a story around him. So I'm going with Jacob Fatu as far as who I think should win.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'll go match it for who I think should win. That's a great pick, honestly. I do think I like where you're going with that.
Yada yada. I mean, all gas, no brakes, baby.
But who do I think should win? Man, this is harder. A lot harder for me for the guys than it is for the ladies.
That's what I've been saying.
But I think it's more easy to be like who I know should not win. But
I think I could take a guess on who that might be.
yeah, there's a few people. But you know who I think? Okay, you know who I think should win? And I'm not trying to be controversial here. I think has done enough. I like what he's doing, and I think always gives you a good show and plays the heel. I would love to see Logan Paul do it.
Really?
And
Uh, okay, I'm gonna let you explain because I'm like, as live viewers and people that's listening right now, they're gonna be kind of looking at you sideways a little bit. So
you know why? Because guess what? Has Logan Paul not put on every time he gets in that ring? Is he not exciting? Does he not give you a good show? He does. Is Logan Paul not just a natural heel that you just can't stand, which is a big part of it? You can't stand the guy, right? Am I wrong in that, Tim Lewis?
no, absolutely not.
Maybe because I correctly called it on our podcast about greatest Royal Rumble moments, and I said number one, Ric Flair '92, and you didn't have him on the list. But we need something like that. And I think what way to get the universe riled up and what way to get everything going if Logan Paul gets that moment and he's in a main event at WrestleMania, I think this would be huge. I think it's earned, it's not given. So I'm not gonna say he's like, oh, he earned it, but I do think you can't look at Logan Paul and be like, he's a YouTuber doing it. He's put in the work. He's earned a lot of people's backstage's respect. And I'm just like, it's hard to say it out loud, but every time he's in a match, it's exciting. He brings it. He does things in it that's like, holy crap, look at the moves he's doing. He's a natural in that ring. And I think he brings it and he brings a lot of attention. And I think whoever he would go against, he knows how to get the crowd worked up. You're going to watch that because you're going to want to watch Logan Paul get his face kicked in. Or the flip side, the emotions if Logan Paul wins one of these championships, how angry people would get, but what kind of attention would that get? And you said it on a previous podcast episode that you said a friend of yours said WWE is more about the the clickbait,
Chasing the viral moments.
chasing that viral moment, which I agree with. And I'm not saying that's always a great thing, but that is the world we live in. What more viral moments than Logan Paul winning the Royal Rumble, Logan Paul being champion? That's almost writes itself. So that's why I think should win it, Logan Paul.
Man, so you about to get the internet wrestling community riled up, my boy.
Tell me, am I crazy?
I mean, you're not far off. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to deny because it's like as much as people don't like Logan Paul, and for good reason, but you can't deny the talent. That talent is undeniable, and he is a natural in that ring. Whether you love him or hate him, which I'm sure is mostly hate, but he's a natural. He's a natural in the ring. He's a natural heel. So I don't think he should ever turn face. You know what I'm saying? Like if they somehow can find a way to get him face, then they're goaded. But he's a natural heel all around. So that's why he works. He fits in the vision. And I even just heard that he just signed a full-time deal. So that shows you like he's taking it seriously. You know,
Extremely serious.
yeah. So it's like, yeah, he may be a D-bag or something like that in real life, but he loves his business. He respects the business, though. That's one thing you got to give him credit for. He respects the business. He takes it seriously. He trains just as much as like the Bad Bunnies or the Pat McAfee's. Way more serious than Travis Scott. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, he
like,
who shall not be named.
legend has it, Travis Scott still walking to the ring at WrestleMania from last year.
Yeah, Fiend still playing in Vegas.
Still going. But yeah, you can't deny it, man. I do feel like I know a lot of people are not going to like it, but even if he doesn't win the Rumble, you got to imagine it's inevitable at this point that he's going to become world champion, whether it's the world heavyweight title or the WWE championship. It's inevitable at this point. Maybe not this year, but sometime next year. Who knows? But you got to be ready for it. It's going to happen. So I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah.
So who do you think will win it?
Well, I'm going to go with somebody who's also in the vision with Logan Paul, and that's the badass dog, Braun Breaker.
Mm.
Yeah. Which, even though he had an opportunity for the title earlier in the month against CM Punk and he lost, but I think that was meant to build him back up, give him a little bit of adversity to kind of overcome a little bit, um, and it sets him up for a big win at the Rumble, which really add another notch under his belt and really build his career up. You know what I'm saying? And he gets another shot at Punk at Mania. Assuming Punk is still champion by then, but that would be the setup right there. Because they're really building up Braun Breaker as like the next face of the company, like the next Roman Reigns or something like that. He has that bloodline lineage with the Steiners and stuff. His uncle Scott, his dad Rick Steiner, and everything. So I feel like it's tailor made for Braun Breaker to go over.
No,
And
that's a
not
great choice.
yeah, not to mention all the vision is going to be in the Rumble too. So it's going to be shenanigans and stuff going on too. So
Mm.
that's what I
I
think
think you're.
will
I
win.
think Braun gets his moment at the Chamber,
Ooh, I
but I
wouldn't even.
think
Yeah,
it's the OTC. Acknowledge him.
that's you think will win?
I think he will win, and I think it sets up. They're not going. I think they're going to want for sure. They're going to want a happy moment, and
Mm.
I think they're going to like that. I think I could see the vision looking like, oh, they're dominating, but you're going to have someone coming back on them. and I think Roman gets it. And I think there's a love that Roman has, and he's working it beautifully now, where you see him part time, but it's enough where people get a love of him, but then he leaves enough where people don't get sick of him, and that's smart. I think that's a smart booking, smart on his plane, and I think he's been gone. People missing some Roman. We need Roman here.
Yeah, we haven't seen him since Survivor Series.
And I think people are going to be hyped to see him here. And he does enough where he doesn't have to be champion. He had that long reign, but you still need him in the main event conversation.
Yes.
You still need him relevant for himself, for the business. When he's in the main card, especially we've seen since 2020, it's gold.
Yeah.
So you're going to need him there, and I think this is the moment. I risk it for Elimination Chamber. Unless you just want the cells, I think this is the moment right here. Set it up. Set it up.
So, what do you think is bigger or more important, winning the Rumble or winning the Chamber?
Win the Rumble.
So, wouldn't it mean more to like say someone who hasn't won the Rumble before or a young up and comer to win the Rumble rather than Roman who's won it before and who's already established? Wouldn't that mean more to a young up and comer?
No, not if the up and comer is going to be champion at WrestleMania.
So like, because we know Obafemi, he's making his official main roster debut in the Rumble.
Hmm.
So it wouldn't. So it wouldn't. So you're saying it wouldn't make sense if Obafemi went over in that case?
What do you mean? Like as opposed to if he won it at the Chamber?
Well, if he won the Rumble and it went on, because you said it wouldn't really mean anything if like a young up and comer won the Rumble then won the title at Mania.
No, I didn't say it wouldn't mean anything. I think there's a bigger picture here.
Okay.
I think it doesn't. Well, no, I think it does hamper it though a little bit.
Mm,
Not if you win the Rumble as an up and comer, as a newbie, and then you lose the championship. Like it, that's not part of the story. To me, Cody winning that first Rumble and losing, I don't care about. What do you care about when he won the Rumble? And main thing is you have that WrestleMania moment. That's why everyone points to that stupid picture. I forget who started that, but it's annoying now. But it just they're pointing, they're looking at it. It's whatever. It doesn't mean anything if you don't win it. So to me, I think he's going to win it. So why does he have to win this? He doesn't have to win it here. His moment will be there. But I think
so you're saying if Roman wins but he fails at Mania, that'll be fine, as opposed to like if a young up and comer wins the Rumble but fails at Mania, that would hamper that. That's what you're saying. That's what you're
I
getting
think
at.
it doesn't mean as much. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And that's I think I get what you're saying now. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't mean as much.
Okay.
So to me, if Braun wins Rumble, he's got to have the WrestleMania,
Yeah, he has to because he already lost to Punk once, so he has to get that back.
and I think he will get it back. That's why I think it doesn't matter. I think the what matters right now for Braun is to have an impressive moment, which I
Yes.
think what will be for him. Since you mentioned Drew McIntyre, and remember Drew in the 2020 Rumble when he, had Ricochet help, but kicked, you know, and knocked out Brock Lesnar. I think you got to see Braun Breaker and Lesnar have a moment, and Braun Breaker has to eliminate Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Uh, and I do feel like because the Vision since its inception, it has been like I don't know how you feel about the Vision so far, but it's been like a little
Boring, boring. I can
yeah,
say it, boring.
a little shaky. Like you can tell like right away like Braun was already trying to take over control from the beginning. Like he wanted to be the guy. He wanted to be the man. So when the turn did happen, like it was no surprise. I mean, it came a little premature because Seth was like real life injured, but you could tell right away Braun wanted to be the man. So I feel like the Rumble, we're gonna start seeing some cracks in the vision. Because like I said, they're trying to groom Braun Breaker to be the next Roman, that's going to lead the company for like the next 10 years or so, 15 years, whatever. So I do feel like, yeah, if he wins the Rumble, he has to deliver at Mania, but he has to have an impressive Rumble showing too, like you said, like that Drew McIntyre moment, which that was a star-making moment for Drew. You know what I'm saying? That put him over huge, and like the crowd in Houston, they popped when Lesnar went over. Like, you know what I'm saying? That put Drew over huge and stuff. So yeah, you're right, man. Braun, he has to show up at the Rumble. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Braun's going to have a performance. He's not. He's going to be. I wouldn't be surprised. he's either first and second in eliminations. He's going to be dominant because that's what they're trying to show. That's what he is. It's just huge.
Do you think Braun breaks the record for most eliminations this Rumble?
I don't think so when you have Brock in there. If Brock wasn't in there, I would say yeah. But like you're putting Brock in there, you're putting in him to five some people, some suplexes and eliminations.
Yeah,
So,
because
you
right
know,
now, I think Brock holds the record.
yeah.
Yeah, because it was Kane,
I
then
think
then Roman,
because Braun did his at
the
the
greatest Royal
greatest
Rumble.
Royal
But
Rumble. That's
we
different.
don't count that.
That's different for me. Yeah.
Yeah, so Braun Strowman, he had 13, but again, we're not counting. I think Brock had about 13, maybe 14 eliminations.
I thought he had 13. I thought it was the same as Braun.
Yeah,
Was it 14?
I think it was 13.
That's what I said. I thought he had 13 eliminations. Yeah.
Ricochet was like number 14. Remember, he caused the assist, to help Drew get Brock out of there. So he was 13. So he's tied with Braun. And since we're not counting the greatest Rumble, that means Brock
Well,
officially
you keep
holds.
saying that now. Do you think greatest Rumble? Is there like a little shade? You think the greatest should be? Because you keep. Is that the first time you did it on our Royal Rumble episode or podcast too? So what's up
Just
here?
well, just for people who may have missed it or blocked it from their mind, just to kind of add some context. You know what
No,
I'm
I
saying?
said it. I said it. You said this before that the greatest Royal. We gave the context. You've been hitting. Since we don't count the greatest Royal Rumble. We don't count it, so I'm just like, let it be known. Do you think we should count the great? I can be convinced.
I don't know because it didn't really lead to anything. You know what I'm saying? Like Braun, he got a title for it, and it didn't really go anywhere. Like the biggest takeaway from that was Titus O'Neil slipping and falling under the ring. That was the biggest takeaway from
Right.
that.
And now I look at it separately because the Royal Rumble, and the regular Royal Rumble is a PLE. It's a big, to me, a big, huge it's part of the big, I say big four of the PLEs. It's a crown jewel for the company that we know what that does as far as what the winner gets, what it means for their career, but also what it means for the WrestleMania season. The greatest Royal Rumble, even if there was tradition with it, we don't know what it means for the season. I also feel you have to separate it because throughout other companies, throughout in wrestling, there's other battle royales. So then to me, where's the line get drawn? Should, when Cesaro knocked out the Big Show, is that a greatest Royal Rumble kind of like there's battle royales throughout the company's history, throughout wrestling history. The Royal Rumble is different than a battle royale. So that's why we got to separate it. Right
Yeah,
now, the greatest Royal Rumble is another version of a battle royale.
yeah. So think of it like the comics or something like that. There's certain stories in comics that are canon and some that are non-canon. So we look the greatest Royal Rumble. That would be in the non-canon category, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a cool moment, and I think it was more of a how do we try to make sure our event gets over in Saudi Arabia, and I think a Royal Rumble, a battle royale, is a smart way to do that. You get a lot of the talent out there. It's a great spectacle live. There's all this action happening. Like, if you're an ADHD person like me, it's constant, someone's coming. All right, watching the ring. Someone else is coming, the countdown. So to me, that's why they did that.
Yeah. And
You
also,
know,
isn't it interesting how the first WWE Saudi Arabia event was the greatest Royal Rumble, and now it's like full circle. Now they get the official Rumble in Saudi Arabia. Like,
it's the smartest way to do it, though. This
yeah,
is of all the major PLEs. This is the one. If you have to say, what are you going to introduce in a different faraway continent or something? The easiest one is Royal Rumble because that's the most exciting to watch, and you can lessen it with the individual matches. But yeah, that's why people love the Royal Rumble. You're always going to have that adrenaline high because you have the clock at the bottom. Who's coming out next? You have so much action going on. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Whether you're there live or on TV, you're never going to be bored. So it's just a smart move.
yeah, and it's funny because it's like wrestling, and I mentioned comics earlier, but it's like a comic book come to life. Like you're watching like Infinity War or Secret Wars come to life, and you got all these
Hmm.
larger than life characters like battling out on screen. It's like you're watching a comic book come to life and stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's also like to keep up with because I love comics too. It's the crossover like effect. Like we love it in comics when you get a crossover. A lot of times in these Royal Rumbles or back in the day Battle Royales, you're seeing wrestlers who don't usually work storylines with each other. They're interacting. They're all in the ring at once. You know what I mean? So it's kind of you get that kind of feeling. You get old school wrestlers who people of different eras coming back in and facing each other. You get surprises. It's fun.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's why I love it. It's my favorite. I've said it before. My favorite PLE of them all, even over Mania, is Royal Rumble.
yeah.
But okay, so we went over the women's and the men's, and we do as every Royal Rumble. There's some individual matchups. We can go over those. I think let's start with the guy. Since you brought it up, Drew McIntyre,
Okay.
undisputed champion, against the one that everyone loves, the People's Champ. And that's about The Rock. I'm talking about Sami Zayn, the current People's Champ.
Mm.
I love Sammy.
Yeah,
You
me
love
too.
Sammy.
Me too.
Hey, before we get to who's going to win, do you think this is the right matchup for Drew for his first title defense in front of a live audience? Do you think Sami Zayn's the right opponent for him?
It's tough because you want Drew's first official title reign to be special because this is his first official reign in front of fans. So we're lucky he made it 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So because the last time he was champion for 5 minutes before getting cashed in on. So and the fact that Sami Zayn, like they were just in Montreal for Saturday night's main event, he had the home field advantage, crowd behind him, and we know Sami Zayn. He also has that Middle Eastern connection too, because I believe he's what part Middle Eastern. I forget
Mm-hmm.
which
He
country and
is.
stuff,
Yeah.
but he has that connection over there too. So he's big in Saudi Arabia and stuff. This is tough, man. And they've been talking about like when is Sami Zayn going to win the big one? When is he going to win the big one? He's been talking about achieving his goal. He even brought his kid into it. You know what I'm saying? Asking him like, "Daddy, when are you going to win the title?" and all that stuff like that. So they added that extra emotion in there. I feel like it's put up or shut up for both of them. Like, really, it's a, what I'm saying? Like, both of them, they really got something to prove here. Like, Drew, he has to prove, you know, was that those first couple reigns were they a fluke? And Sammy having to prove, can he win the big one? And also, can he beat Drew McIntyre? Because he's never beaten Drew one on one. So it's a lot of things to prove here for both guys. Even though Drew's a champion, he has the advantage, but still, he has a lot to prove too. He has a lot of pressure on his shoulders. You know, it's tough, man. It's tough. I think it'll be a great match. I mean, they're both going to deliver for sure. It's tough, man, because it's like this would have been one of those matches where they have enough history where you could kind of build to Mania, but I don't know, man. It's tough. I'll be more comfortable with Drew facing somebody else, but it's really nobody available right now. So this is gonna be
It's
tough.
tough.
Yeah.
I like Sami Zayn. I like him as a person. I like his character. I like watching him work. He's someone like the men's roster is always better when Sami Zayn is back. He's there. Like he just brings a smile. I liked him before. I think what confirmed it was when he joined the,
Bloodline.
the bloodline, the original bloodline, and I'm like, this is weird. At first, I'm like, why is he in it? But I'm like, this works. And everyone loved it. And I'm like, I love it. Yeah. And his friendship with Jay Uso, I was like, I love these dudes, man. And I'm like, this dude can do whatever he wants. Like, he just can. I maybe would have wanted to see, I don't know, as an LA Knight in this match, like personally. But with them being in Saudi Arabia, Sami Zayn having the Syrian background,
Hmm.
being able to speak. That was a really huge moment when he spoke Arabic to that crowd. That was really awesome. I think, yeah, for that reason, he's a right fit for that reason. But if I can segue into my pick, something that you mentioned earlier, which is why Drew McIntyre will win. Because why have Sami Zayn have this WrestleMania type moment in Saudi Arabia at the Royal Rumble this year? When guess what? Next year's WrestleMania will be in Saudi Arabia.
Hmm.
And that's when Sammy has the ultimate WrestleMania moment and a moment that I predict right here on Tables, Ladders, and Conversations. It'll be up there with Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30 and your hero, your godfather, Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, my hometown. Sami Zayn next year in 2027 will have that moment. So he's going to lose to Drew McIntyre this Saturday at Royal Rumble in 2026, setting the stage for next year.
And ladies and gentlemen, he accused me of being the writer. Like, man, you need to get on the horn with Triple H and apply for a job or something, man. Like, we need to get you in creative or something.
When I'm around you, I've learned from you enough. So like you did it.
Man, that is excellent, man. Hey, that is excellent. So yeah, and not to jump ahead, but yeah, I got Drew going over just because I feel like he needs this more. You know, he's been patient, he's earned this. I feel like he needs this more. He needs a dominant, solid run going, at least holding it till Mania. He needs this. Sammy, like you mentioned, WrestleMania 43 is going to be in Riyadh again anyway, so it makes perfect sense. You know what I'm saying? I feel like him being in this position is just for the sake of convenience and great marketing because they're in Montreal. Okay, that's his hometown. And then you mentioned he has that Arabic, that Syrian
Hmm.
background too. So that's huge too. And we mentioned he's big in Saudi Arabia. So it makes sense. It's great marketing. If he was in the Rumble, he definitely would have been a surefire favorite to win for sure
True.
too.
And I'll great point. If he was in the Rumble, I think I would say he's a good chance he can win it.
Yeah.
If WrestleMania next year was not in Saudi Arabia, I would think Sammy would win this. And I would think even with Drew getting it quick, I think it'd be one of those things Sammy gets it for the moment and somewhere on a Raw or maybe Elimination Chamber, Drew gets it back. But I think if WrestleMania wasn't in Saudi Arabia next year, I would pick Sammy to win.
Yeah. Sort of like when Mick Foley beat The Rock
Mhm.
on Raw on January 4th, '99,
Mhm.
and then The Rock got it right back at Royal Rumble later that month and stuff. So it could have went that way, um, and it wouldn't hurt Drew at all because Drew's already established. He can get it. He's been a multi-time champion already at this point. It wouldn't hurt him at all. But yeah, I think it will build a better story. I mean, he puts on a hard-fought battle, just comes up just a little short. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, maybe Drew wins clean, or maybe he used some underhanded tactics. Whatever the case may be, hard fought battle. It's an emotional scene and stuff like that. And Sammy spends the next calendar year building himself back up, and then boom, he wins the Rumble and goes on the Riyadh and had that moment. Shoot, you may even bring KO in at the end or something like that to give him some words of encouragement. I don't know how, depending if Kevin Owens if he's cleared by that point, but I imagine they'll probably bring KO for that too. Because I'm sure he wants to have him involved for that. So
That'd be cool to see. I would love to
yeah,
see that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. I feel like Kevin Owens might be done.
it might be another Big E situation, man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Unfortunately. Yeah, man. And he's missed.
yeah,
He's missed. Like I
yes,
feel the void of Kevin because he's just someone you could plug in and he will give you a good angle and a good show. And didn't he was never a number one guy. Just like I don't think Cody Rhodes is a number one guy, but Cody was a heck of a worker. Kevin Owens he was a great setup guy, a great almost guy, and a great just hey, let's fill him. We don't know what to do with so and so, and angle with Kevin Owens. It works. That you need guys like that. That's just as valuable as a champion to me. The versatile, you know, utility player, and the men's roster is lacking that without Kevin Owens.
for sure, man. And he's one of those guys where he doesn't need a title to elevate himself. Like he's the talent. He makes the belt if he does have a
Hmm.
belt.
Hmm.
But now if his career really is over, then it's truly sad because I do feel like he definitely deserved at least one more world title run. I feel like, but he's one of those guys that didn't need a title to get over and stuff.
Yeah,
He's already over.
I think he's good without it
Yeah,
because he doesn't need it. I think Cody Rhodes before him leaving and AEW and stuff, it's like, yeah, he needs it. Cody didn't need that. He had the love. He didn't need that belt. That's why it doesn't fit Cody Rhodes. He doesn't need it. But I'm grateful Drew took it off of him.
he'll get it back. Cody 3 times coming soon. Stay tuned.
Not at Mania, I hope.
Well, maybe not. Look, he's Look, I think even I can say Cody needs a break from the WrestleMania main event. So let him do something else. You
Does
know what I'm
Cody
saying?
need a break or does the public need a break?
Hey, his back needs a break because he's been carrying the company for like the last 2-3 years or so.
Really? He carried it?
Like, who's been the face of the company? Like Roman's barely there.
I think Roman was the one carrying it from 2020 to 2024.
Before Cody got there, but
And then there's this guy, I think you're forgetting a guy named Phil, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, the heist of the century this past SummerSlam,
man, and also
John Cena's retirement tour. That's been carrying it. It
but
has not been your
but
boy Cody Raheem Rhodes.
well, Cody's been consistent and he has been injured. All those guys, they either been out or they've been injured or whatever like that. They taken time off. He's been there.
He's there, and that's what's bad about it. It should be his, and yet it's not his. Let's be real. CM Punk has carried this company more in the past 2 years than Cody Rhodes.
Wow. I mean, I can't really dispute that too much. I mean, Punk is still crazy over. You know what I'm saying? And look, the past 3 weeks or so, like this last month, he's been putting on banger matches, like great with AJ Styles, with Finn Balor, with Braun Breaker. He's been having some really good matches. Like he's still got it. I gotta give him that. I gotta
The
give him that.
face of the men's division to me is still CM Punk. And as of right now, one of the best things that Triple H has done running the company is repairing his relationship with CM. It's already that is so
Yeah,
far a top three, maybe number one. You can make a case. Best thing he's done is bringing CM Punk back.
yeah.
And that doesn't work if CM Punk doesn't deliver in the ring and with storyline. And he has since he's come back, he has been delivering. He is the face of the men's division still. It's
Also,
Punk.
also, like we were talking a little bit about it on the phone a couple days ago. Like, isn't it like doesn't it kind of like feel good like when you watch an Unreal WWE Unreal and you see CM Punk and Triple H like just like talking, just having good conversation, positive vibes and stuff like that. And they're not like yelling at each other's throats. Like it's crazy how far they come and the growth that that's come between the both of them and stuff like that.
Yeah. And you're right. It's always good to see. It's just better for society when it's like two grown adults who want the same thing, but we can have differing opinions. But hey, in the end, let's put egos aside. We want what's best for the business. We want what's best for the fans. We want what's best for everything here. Let's come together. And a lot of times that gets in the way in all relationships, right? Like we want the same thing, but egos and am I getting enough credit and you're not listening to me, or I don't think you're not listening to me, or whatever. But yeah, it's great because those are two guys who care about wrestling, care about the growth of the business, and are two great minds for the business too. And it's like, no, we're all the benefit. It's better for all of us when they come together, put that ego aside. And the past 2 years now we've all been the beneficiaries of that because CM Punk has put on nothing but great matches, nothing but great storylines, has been attention getting the whole time. No one can say he's riding reputation. He's exceeding reputation since he appeared in 2023 at that Survivor Series. It's been nothing but up for him. So great job. Even when he got hurt, he still entertained us.
Yeah,
So CM Punk's the face of this company, at least for the men.
Cody's up there too.
That's a mic drop for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Cody's up there too.
But yeah, he's in the top five. But for the final match, really,
This is a big one too.
there was talk. I'll give you credit, were the first one to bring up. I had heard about it, but you were like, AJ's going to retire. This was last year. Like 2026 will be his last year. But when you brought it up, we talked about, is he going to have like a mini retirement tour? All these things. I haven't had a chance to ask you. Are you surprised that it might be we might get a month 2026 and he's retiring? Not, I thought we might get a few months or the year, but it's a month into it. Shinsuke kind of alluded to it. It was great to see him in the ring with CM Punk on Monday Night Raw this past Monday. But AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, a legend, a first ballot Hall of Famer. Though in these days, after what happened to Bill Belichick, what does first ballot Hall of Famer even mean anymore? But that's for a different podcast on a different day. But anyway, AJ Styles, a legend, going up against Gunther, a legend killer. How do you feel about this match, Tim Lewis?
You know, there have been rare occurrences where there have been a non-Royal Rumble match to close the show, and if this really is his last night in the company as an in-ring performer, you could make a case that this could close the show. I feel
Yeah,
like, and you wouldn't get too many arguments. I mean, I feel like AJ Styles at this point in his career, he's earned that, And to think it's been 10 years almost since he debuted at that very event at the Rumble. So it'll be a nice full circle. I think this was planned, like a nice full circle moment. 10 years almost to the day when his debut happened in 2016 at the Rumble. You know, um, and from then on, it's like he's just giving us classic after classic, even more classics than what he gave us in TNA or New Japan. Like it's crazy to think that he's had more matches in WWE than he has in TNA at this point in these past 10 years and stuff. So I feel like you could make a case this could be the actual main event for the show. I don't think it
I think
will,
that's a
but
great.
you know,
I would be. I think I would like that. Honestly, I agree with you. I think that'd be a great thing.
yeah, because it has happened before, but it's rare where a non-Royal Rumble match closes the show for the Rumble. Like I think '96 they did it with Brett and Taker, and in '97 Shawn Michaels and Psycho Sid, and then again with Rock and CM Punk 2013, and the last time was Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens in 2023. So you can make a case that this match, given the stakes and who's involved, like, this could close the show. And it's not even for a title. Like it's a career threatening match, But you got AJ Styles, you got Gunther, like emotions riding high, stakes are high. Like, yeah, I feel like this has the makings for a big marquee main event right here to close the show at the Rumble in Saudi.
I got a big one for you here because you're right. It's coming up 10 years of AJ Styles in WWE. He was a legend before WWE. How would you grade not his career but his WWE run these past 10 years? How do you grade it for AJ Styles?
Mm. Now, as someone who's seen his WWE run from start up until now, I mean, it's
Both
been
of us have, yeah.
yeah, it's been some highs for sure. Like he's definitely had a lot of highs, made some history. Um, there's been some low points too, so we can't ignore that. Not his fault, of course, creative and all that stuff like that. If I'm being honest, I'm not judging him by his in-ring ability because AJ rarely has a bad match, if at all.
There's not too many people he's second to as far as in ring
Ye-
ability.
ye-
That's a short list
Yeah,
all
like
time.
like I can count on one hand on how many people can put on a great match every time they step in the ring. That's AJ, that's Mr. Perfect, that's Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. Like it's not that many people you can
Ric
name.
Flair was pretty. He's up there,
Yeah, Nature's up there too.
and I
Woo!
think Eddie Guerrero was high up there too.
Yep, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Mr. Perfect too.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. So AJ, he's just like a gem, like a true gem in this business. I know CM Punk calls himself the best in the world, but you can make a case that AJ Styles is really the true like best in the world. I know we're just talking about his WWE run. I remember like when I first discovered TNA, like one of the first matches I watched was AJ Styles versus Jeff Jarrett for the NWA World Title back on like the early episodes of TNA Impact when it used to come on demand. I think you can only order on pay per view or something. But I got a free match on demand, and that was like one of the first matches I saw, and that was my introduction to AJ Styles. You know, and from then on, it got me hooked to TNA. I was like, oh, this is new wrestling company. I'm like, okay, cool, and like that just opened up a whole new world to me. And then seeing him finally get the call come to WWE, I was like, oh, we're cooking now. So from 2016, like I know it was a little bit shaky at first, but 8 months in, like he's already a WWE champion. He has that epic, iconic rivalry with John Cena. The whole beat up John Cena thing that was iconic. That was epic. It was hilarious, and the matches they had classic. We brought that up on our Cena's greatest matches and stuff like that. We talked about those. And of course, the class they had at Crown Jewel last October, fantastic. So it's crazy to think that this whole past year we actually been watching not just John Cena's retirement tour but AJ Styles retirement tour too. So it's kind of crazy to think how it's been hiding in plain sight this whole time.
Did you? I'm not.
Yeah, back to your point. If I had to grade, I'd say like maybe A.
I was gonna go B.
Yeah, that's fair too.
Like but yeah, and I think if he didn't have the last couple matches he had this past year, I would go with C. Now, to your point, it's not about like his in ring ability at all. I feel like he came in 2016, and um, Royal Rumble was 2020. That was about 4 years, and a couple months later was that WrestleMania in 2020 with like the Boneyard match with Undertaker. I want to say I can bookmark it from 2016 to that Boneyard match, B plus to A minus. Post the Boneyard match in the 2020s, I feel like AJ was in weird angles, weird with the Omas thing. It was like, what are we doing here? Like that could have been good, but it wasn't good.
That had his moments though. That had his moments.
It could have been good.
Yeah,
That's what I said. It could have been, but overall, it fell flat though.
yeah, yeah. It did.
Like I see where they were going, but it didn't land. And I got to critique it on A for the attempt, but the overall grade, you didn't land it. You didn't land it. He was in weird storyline. He kind of was forgotten and kind of just used to like set people up. And so I think the past 6 years, it's kind of dropped a lot. And besides those Cena matches were great because I think it reminded people who maybe needed it, like, hey, we watched a special one with AJ Styles in case you forget. But they also were sentimental. They were like they had no meaning besides it's like we're going to watch Cena and AJ do it one more time. That wasn't a storyline thing. The best thing to me post the Boneyard match was his run with Dom, in
Yeah,
2025,
and
and that
that was
was
some great stuff too. That was some great
and that
stuff.
was great by Dom. I mean, AJ put him over. It takes two to tango, so I'm not taking that away.
Yeah, but
But who shined?
Dom was the one he was like really selling and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dom shined in that. But that's AJ's best thing since the Boneyard match.
yeah,
So that's why I knock it because it's been years where it's just like, oh, I like AJ Styles. I can talk about the past, but he's on here. He got what the thing is, which is why he needs to retire. It became where when I saw him, I knew it wasn't a big deal. It's not a big storyline when I see you. And
mm,
when you are a guy who was in that, you're a big deal. You're going to be one of the top storylines, and then we see you go to where it's like you're not. It's like, oh yeah, and it's like, well, I know if you're wrestling AJ Styles, it's not a storyline wise, not a big deal. In the ring, it is because he's great. It's going to hurt. That's
yeah,
why it's like he got to like be. I'm being nice because he's such a great worker. B minus.
yeah, yeah. I was grading just more so like the in ring, but I also see your point too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I
It's
feel like
both. It's the ring and the stories.
yeah,
It's that
yeah,
hybrid.
yeah. I do feel like the last few years or so, to your point, he's definitely been lost in the shuffle a bit. And then there was that weird angle where he was feuding with the bloodline and he kind of went dark for a minute and we didn't know if he was like heel or something like that. And he really got lost in the shuffle then. And I think he got hurt right after that. And he really lost some time because they were going to run that retirement angle a lot sooner. Now I don't know if he was going to officially retire, but they were going to run a retirement angle like a year ago or a year and a half ago or something like that. But then he got hurt, so it kind of delayed the plans. Um, so yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
He just got lost, but they kind of picked it back up this year a little bit. But it's just like not as big of a deal as like John Cena. You know what I'm saying? Where
Which we get why.
yeah,
That
yeah,
so I don't knock AJ for that.
yeah,
I think the match with Cena helped him. Without that match, I I don't think it wouldn't. It still would be a big deal, but it'd be less than that match being only a few months ago, not that long ago. It's in people's mind how much that match was trending and how much people were calling that like a top match of 2025. I think helped put AJ back into people's minds as like, no, this is a legend here, and it helps with what's going to happen this Saturday. Now, the flip side, once again, here we're Gunther, the legend killer, someone's career on the line. How do you feel about this angle with Gunther? Do you like where they're going with it, or are you tired of it?
I mean, it's kind of still fresh, so we gotta see where they go with it. I mean, we were just talking about it after the Cena match. last month
But
or
he
something.
had the Goldberg thing too.
Yeah,
So it's Goldberg, it's Cena, it's AJ.
yeah. I mean, what we were just talking about, like if he retires AJ, you said yourself it'll be like too predictable. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but if AJ, if he wants to retire, I mean, if that's the way they're going, I mean, that's the way they're going to go with it. So, but it builds Gunther up, it gives him heat, and it just builds up somebody else, whoever, whether it's a young up and comer or another legend who still has something left in the tank to come give him a kick in the ass or something like that, you know. So it just gives him more heat at the end of the day. But really, it's all about AJ Styles, really.
Okay. I take that. I'm a little bit like tired of it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, okay.
Already, already.
Well, you did it with Goldberg. You did it with it's close. I'm like, this is. I'd rather see him in the championship storylines. Gunther is a great heel, a heck of a worker. I feel like I'm getting wasted on the Cena one. Was okay. That made sense because that was like such a big event. That was a PLE without being a PLE,
Yeah,
and that
it
was a
felt like
rare
it felt.
like.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm saying like it felt like the way it was built, it felt like a WrestleMania almost or something like that, or like you said, a PLE or something like that.
Yeah, well, it felt different because Cena's name is so big. It had that crossover appeal,
Yeah.
and especially that week leading up to it, and then that day where you had all the NBA Twitter account and the NFL all giving Cena tributes. He was on all the late night show. Like it had that crossover appeal. It what it felt like too. It felt like what in the '90s when like Rodman and Karl Malone were coming into like WCW and like
Hmm.
it brought that whole kind of a thing. That's what it kind of felt like. So that made sense to have Gunther there. There's a big spotlight for him. The Goldberg one, we don't need that. It's corny. And I think this isn't needed here. Like I'd rather AJ go out fighting Shinsuke or fighting someone like there's some history with and let that person retire him. I'd rather it be Randy Orton or something. Give me somebody like just anyone like who I don't need it to be Gunther because guess what? These retirement angles, he's still going to be a good heel. He won't be forgotten. But guess what? Give it to someone else. I love to see Gunther in the mix here for the Rumble. I love to see Gunther in the mix for events for WrestleMania because he's that good. I feel like you're being wasted here on this big event going against AJ Styles for his potentially final match.
You think he's been wasted going up against AJ Styles?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. He doesn't need it. Does Gunther need this? He doesn't need to be brought back. Like, oh, we forgot about Gunther. Or like, what is it doing for him?
I mean, we gotta think like he took a pretty big L at SummerSlam against Punk, so he took some time off. They needed to get the building back up. So Cena, that definitely got him some heat back and stuff like that. Whether he needed that or not, it got him a lot of heat. I feel like AJ Styles that will also give him a lot of heat too. But does he need it? No. But also, here's my thing too. What if they're swerving us, right? Because I remember earlier, like AJ saying he might want to work Mania, and you got to think his last WrestleMania he put over Logan Paul. So you would think AJ would at least want to go out on top at his last Mania or something like that, if you wanted to stretch out that long. But I could also see him ending it at the Rumble because how poetic it is and the full circle moment and everything like that. There's so many different ways they can go, but I feel like there's a chance they could swerve us and, you know, they could have AJ go over Gunther, to kind of throw us off because Gunther they've been building up as this new legend killer. He's beaten Goldberg, he's beaten Cena, he even beat the original legend killer Randy Orton. You know what I'm saying? So he's building up quite the resume.
See, right there, that's my thing, though. I have to cut you off. I'm sorry, Tim Lewis. I got to jump in here because you brought up a good point, and that I thought about it. This could be a swerve. This could be a swerve.
That's what I'm
I'm not.
saying.
And it'd be a hell of a one if they do that. It'd be a good setup. I like it. But guess what? That's my problem. If it's a swerve and AJ beats Gunther, I'm not like I don't care about the angle still. Like I'm not like I want to see a rematch or I want to see it again. I'm still like okay, cool. He's not done yet, but I'm like go fight someone else. I don't need to see
Well,
Gunther again.
well, I mean, technically this would be the rematch because they had a match already where Gunther won with shady tactics and stuff.
No, I'm saying where does it go from here?
I think it ends. I think this is over after this.
So then it's like, what's AJ's angle if he wins? If he wins,
Well, he did.
all of this is if he wins. I'm talking about right now.
Well,
If AJ wins,
if he wins, I mean, he did say he wanted to be world champion again, so there's that on the horizon. I mean, who wouldn't want to see AJ Styles with the world title one more time, right?
no,
You don't want to see AJ win the title one more time,
no,
even if it's just like for a month, just a month or so.
no. It's not. Where does he fit?
They
What with who? Who's he going? Him and Braun Breaker? I don't need to see that.
they
I know
work.
Braun doesn't, but I'm saying like where do you build that into with
They
AJ and Punk? We just watched that on Raw.
well, they never we never had a clear decision on that because
Yeah, we
interference.
did. AJ's retiring. That's the decision.
And they set up Braun and AJ last year, but they didn't follow through because they had AJ veer off to face Logan Paul, and Braun was facing Finn and Dom and stuff at WrestleMania.
AJ and Drew McIntyre. That what we looking at? I don't need to see that.
It's I mean, you'd be surprised. I mean, I don't know. We won't really know. We won't fully know until we watch in like the fourth season of WWE Unreal, like 6 months from now or something.
Man, nah, it'll be part of season 3. You know how they gonna set it up. They got to keep you hooked. So season 3 is gonna be Mania and stuff, like building up to Mania. You know how you know how your old company works. So
Here we go. The allegations.
is it allegations if it's true? No, it's just facts. Come on, man. Admit it. You wrote for the company years ago. It's a past life, but still part of your life. It's okay. We're
For
fine.
for our watchers on YouTube, I can neither confirm nor deny these allegations by my colleague.
Okay. Okay, nice. But I just think we learned from Cena.
Hmm.
We don't need retirement tours mixing in with the belt, with the storylines. So give AJ, that needs to be a separate thing.
Okay.
He gets a separate, I think he earned a lane, but it's a separate lane. Stay eye on the prize here. You did it in 2025. It got all mucked up and muddied up. Hey, there's main storylines. That's why I'm saying let AJ go against Randy Orton or something like he can do those things. Let AJ and LA Knight do it. I don't care. AJ and Cody can give you a match. I don't care. Get Cody out the main event stuff anyway. So it's like you can do those things. Okay, Nakamura and AJ, that's fine. There's the classics. I don't need AJ in the title spot. I don't. It'd be cool if it's a swerve, but I think it's over. I think he's done though. I think he
Yeah.
loses.
Yeah. My thing is though, you talk about where AJ goes. Like, where does Gunther go from here? Because it's like,
That's my point.
yeah. I mean, here's my thing too, because it wasn't that long since he was champion, so you kind of do gotta mix things up, right? So it gives him something to build towards. So he can still be the legend killer, but he can work. He can eventually work his way back up to the title picture at some point eventually.
What I would love Gunther in Elimination Chamber,
Yeah.
and he wins.
Yeah, because I'm like, he's gonna be too busy with AJ unless he's working double duty. I don't know, unless he's working double duty in the Rumble, but there's still Elimination Chamber, and that's like the last ditch effort. That's the last chance to make it to Mania. So I can see that too.
I gotta be real. I would love it if Gunther. You need Gunther. Gunther's needed here.
You need Gunther in the title picture at Mania.
I think you need him in there.
Mm.
I think he's that wild card that just mixes it up. He's the heel. He embraces being the heel. He's a heck of a worker. You're going to get a hell of a match with Gunther in there. He knows how to antagonize. I think he can help elevate somebody too,
Mm.
whether that be Drew or whoever. If it's Punk, if the belt's off one of them, and let's say it's on Braun, I think that's an interesting matchup. I think you don't want to waste. It would be a waste. We did it with the last year,
With
Gunther and Jay Uso. That was a waste. It was a waste of time. It just was. Don't waste it again, Triple H. Use it wisely because he yeeted all over the bed after that. Jay just yeeted it up and messed it up. It was a waste of a time, and that moment is forgotten because you know why? Because what happened afterwards? Nothing. So, what are we doing here? Use them wisely.
Yeah. Well, Jey Uso will tell you himself like he didn't work as hard like once he got the belt and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it was a waste. It's not Gunther's fault. It's only one man's fault. And I love Jey Uso. It's his fault. But don't waste it now. Use him.
yeah, I mean Gunther will be fine no matter what. He'll be champion again. This is more like just a side quest, and everybody they have there. Like Triple H, there's been times where he's gone months on end without a title. Kurt Angle, he's gone months on end without titles and stuff like that.
I'm not saying he need to be a title. He doesn't have to win it. He needs to be in the mix.
Just be involved. That's what you're saying. Just be involved.
Hmm.
Okay. I
Yeah, I
mean,
don't care if he wins it. Just mix.
yeah, but there have been times where, like I said, Triple H, like he was in the mix, like, but he was doing his own thing too outside the title picture too. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't out the mix that long, but he was doing other things too. So
Well,
Gunther,
who is the guy you're looking at for Gunther? Who you're like, yeah, after Royal Rumble, let him get in the mix with fill in the blank. Who? Sami Zayn? You want to do Gunther and Sammy again?
well, because I know if Braun wins now, I know Braun. That was my pick on who I think will win the Rumble. So if Braun wins the Rumble, ultimately he's going to go after Punk to get that win back.
Mm-hmm.
So if Gunther, if he goes on to wins the Chamber, I gotta imagine he's gonna go after whoever the WWE champion is. And Sammy, if he does go over, if he pulls off the miracle in Saudi Arabia, then we get the rematch from WrestleMania. What was it? 40?
Yeah, it was 40.
That's when Sammy beat Gunther for the title.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
40. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, you
The
were
first,
there.
that was night one.
Oh yeah, you weren't there for night one, but you're okay. Yeah, but
I was outside.
so you were in the vicinity. You were in the
Yeah,
vicinity.
I could feel the energy. I felt it when he won, just from a little further away. I could feel it. I was outside. I heard
Ole.
him yell.
Yeah, you were hearing the ole, ole,
I
ole
heard the
from the
music.
outside.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was outside now, but the night two I was in there. Night one I was on the outside.
Yeah, so it will be a rematch from WrestleMania 40. You know what I'm saying? They got history. This time is for the big one, the big title, the WWE Championship, instead of the IC title. So you you could tell a story around that.
Well, let's say Sammy loses. You still care, Gunther and Sammy?
But just them non-title,
Mm-hmm.
I think you could still tell a story about that. I think there's still a story there.
Snooze. You know it's a snooze.
So
It's a
so you
snooze.
think the title elevates that? You think that's
No, I think don't waste a guy who is hot on a mid card kind of person at the moment.
mm,
Now, those labels are always fleeting. You can be a main event person, and then you can fall off of that. You can be mid card or opening card and rise up. So for everyone watching, when I say those terms, I'm not like that's just all you're going to be. But right now, you have a main event heel, and potentially after this AJ angle, you could put him in a mid card kind of thing here.
mm,
And I feel like that's kind of what ended up happening last year
with who?
with Gunther and Jay.
Yeah, well, yeah. Now that you mention it, because they did open night one. They weren't the main event of night one. They were opening. There you have it. So yeah, they do gotta be careful with how they handle Gunther. Win or lose, they gotta be careful how they handle Gunther
I just
after
think he's
this.
someone you need to have in an angle that means something.
Yeah.
He's not in that stage in his career where it's a throwaway. He doesn't have the clout where he just whatever he does, it's like okay. Bring like Taker had that clout after a while where he didn't have to be in a main event. He could just him showing up, it had a clout. Gunther doesn't have that yet. So I'm just like, I think it's very smart to put him with someone there's going to be something with. Either he's putting someone over, don't just give him something blah.
Hmm.
I just think that's my fear. Don't give him a blah thing. Give him something good.
Yeah.
But
So
you
who you
have him winning on Saturday.
Gunther?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At this point, yeah. I mean, the way things are looking and based on recent reports, I mean, it looks like Rumble may be AJ's last night. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be hanging up the boots.
Right. So I have it too, but I'm just going to be interested to see where they go afterwards with him. But
Hmm.
man, this is fun, and I'm just excited, man. It's a different time. Hey, it's a PLE on a Saturday, and we care about y'all, so we're going to be coming recording our reaction show. But guess what? One thing I can say about it being in a different country, we can watch the Rumble, record a reaction show, and we can still do something at night. That's kind of fun in a way. Like, it's different, but those are the things that I will say I enjoy about when they're like these overseas PLEs. It's like, well, you still have your Saturday to yourself, but it should be fun. I'm excited to see what this means for the company and the business as a whole. Like, this is a very important night coming up on January 30th.
For sure, man. This is important, especially considering like 2025 was very criticized, as far as Triple H and creative and stuff like that. And we were wondering like how they're gonna bounce back in 2026. And I think you said too, like I don't know if it was like on the podcast or off air, but I remember you saying like if 2025 was a bad year for Triple H, then sky's the limit. So they can always bounce back. You know what I'm saying? We can only go up.
Yeah.
It can't be any worse than what Vince was giving us the last 5 years of his run. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
not at all. It's hard to be worse than that, and I'm excited.
me too.
I think it should be. I'm thinking it's going to be a very entertaining Royal Rumble this Saturday. So, I know we're a new YouTube channel. For those watching, we'd love it if you'd like, subscribe, give us feedback. We're gonna be giving you more and more content on here. If you're on YouTube and you're just discovering us, you can hear our past episodes on audio. Going to Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. So, and please, any suggestions for YouTube content or our audio content, you can hit us up on Twitter/X at TLC Wrestling Pod, Instagram at TLC Wrestling Pod, or email us tlcwrestlingpod@gmail.com. So, for my tag team partner, the legend, Mr. Tim Lewis, I'm Deremy Dove. Thank you guys for watching Tables, Ladders, and Conversations.